Good morning.
Where are you? W1U is where are you? WRU.
That's not A.
Yes, that's what in English. I call you young lady. Young people talk like that.
You're good here?
I guess I can. Yeah, I can move. Okay.
Oh, you have used that. Okay. Sit there.
You're good. Wherever you want.
That's your screen.
Great. Thank you.
You don't need this one? Chad, you need to be strict with your ramp up agents. They're not here. I expect them
Well,
to be.
they get me all the time.
Oh. That's so nice.
Maybe they're so busy with all of their deals that they're just not
Ooh.
able to make it.
I'm waiting, May 10th. Oh, sorry.
What's going on, man?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good
How
to
you
see
been?
I'm well.
Good, good.
There's one. Alex.
From
I'm proud of you, Alex. I said you ramp up agents. Oh, they're busy working.
Yeah, pushed starting yesterday.
They're busy working. Right, Alex?
Me too.
Good. In just a few minutes.
Where did you get this?
What is it?
Bottle?
Oh, my house.
Oh,
Sorry.
If you find one, will you bring me one, please?
They just want a cup of water? They have a cup of water
Yeah.
also.
Hey, morning.
Hi, good morning. Hi, brother. You call me, sir. Yes, I saw that. I'm in my office. Why don't you come by, sir? Oh. tomorrow is difficult. I'm going to another meeting outside the office, so if you can come today before 4 o'clock, if possible. That's great. Between 2:30 and 3:30, that's fine. Thank you. Actually, if you come before 3 o'clock, that'll be better. Please, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
All right. Thanks for showing up this morning. It's good to see you. So I know Alex. Can I get your names?
Satinder.
Say it for me again.
Satinder.
Okay.
I
Say
know
it one
it's
more time for
difficult
me.
to pronounce. It's a typical Punjabi name. Satinder. Satinder.
Sutinda.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How long have you been in this office?
Almost 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you start your career here?
Not here earlier. I was at Santa Clara, Keller Williams office, but yeah, at that time I was pregnant. I just got my license and started from here only.
Okay.
But I'm in real estate from 2009.
All right.
Yeah, but that was in India.
Got it.
So directly after my MBA, I was campus hired by a real estate company, a very big group in India, developers and builders. So I was working
Oh,
with
yeah.
them from 2009, and then after wedding, I moved here.
All right.
Because from 2014, I was into the international marketing for my company. I was looking all the sales and marketing from US, Canada, Singapore, and Dubai.
Got it.
So I was a little bit aware of this area and everything, so I started here.
Good. The commission checks are very good here.
Oh, yeah.
Good choice. Good choice. Morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Glad you're here. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Mani, and I started in October,
Okay.
last October. Before that, I was software engineer.
All right.
And I just retired from there and then I started this.
Just needed something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
Okay.
be busy with some work, not too much
Yeah.
work, but yeah, if I want to relax, I can relax, right? So,
Gotcha. Sounds good. Glad you're here.
thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jitu Chaudhary. I'm an associate here, and I'm retired, but I just showed up today. I don't know why.
Okay. Maybe you're feeling stuck.
No,
Good.
I call myself probably workaholic.
Yeah.
I work up around 4 in the morning, but by 10 I'm done.
I get it.
I'm done for the day.
I get it.
I just want to see what you have to talk about, really.
Great.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Just open books. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, yeah, Johnny Singh. I've been here for about 14 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, been in real estate here.
Did
Enjoy
you
it a
start
lot.
in this office?
I did, yeah, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
thank
What do
you.
you focus on?
Residential,
All right.
yeah, residential.
Any particular area or demographic, psychographic?
East Bay, South Bay, most of my clients are engineers,
Okay.
so that's kind of my niche.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
Alex Kim, been with KW for 8 years. Been working a lot in Sphere. Lately, it's been more focusing on finding my own fixer-uppers
Okay.
and then potential rentals. But business have gone down last year, so always looking to get unstuck.
Got it.
Always looking to build on business.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad all of you are here. So I am obliged to tell you that I'm a part of these. Why am I not on there? This is the wrong slide. The new one I'm on. But I'm a part of these advisors, families of companies. I'm in partnership with advisors. And if you need mortgage, insurance, transaction coordination, or marketing, we love if you give our in-house folks a shot first before going outside. And if you need more information about that, I'm happy to get you information. So today we're going to talk about the getting unstuck, the nature of transformation.
I'll take picture later. I wanted to take picture.
Okay. It should be in your team meeting slides too. They probably have more because they're better at that than I am. So we're going to talk about getting unstuck today. And what I want to do, this is an open floor lecture today, so there are some times when I come and do these and I'm like, please don't ask me questions until the end. Today is not one of those days. You are welcome to interrupt me, ask questions, share your perspective on anything that we're going to talk about today. So feel free at any time to jump in. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But what I want to do is give you some different ways of thinking about the idea of being stuck. So that's primarily what I'm going to do today. Just some more mindset shifts, perspectives, ways of thinking about what it means to be stuck. So have you ever felt like you're doing everything you're supposed to do? I'm reading all the right books. I'm doing what my coaches are telling me. I'm doing what they tell me to do at team meetings. I'm doing what my productivity coach is telling me. I'm doing what all the gurus say I'm supposed to be doing, and yet I am still stuck. I feel like I'm just not getting any momentum. Can anybody relate to that idea? No? Okay. Well, I'll talk to you, Alex. And it seems like nothing is working. So let's talk about what that might mean. I'm going to skip these few slides. That's the who I am slides. I don't really feel like I need to do that today with this group. But in all of my years of working with agents and going around the country and working with agents from all sorts of different backgrounds and all sorts of different parts of their careers, I have never, not once, met a lazy agent. And I know that that might come as a surprise to you, but I've never met a lazy agent. I have met agents who are unfocused. I've met agents who are easily distracted. I've met agents who haven't figured out a way to make the business their own just yet. I've met agents who are burnt out, but I've not met lazy ones. So I think the first mindset shift that's important, if you're feeling lazy or if you're feeling stuck, don't label yourself as lazy. It's very unlikely that you are a lazy person. You've made it this far. I see you all got out of bed, dressed yourselves, you all look very presentable, so you've had some success in the past to be able to do that. It's very unlikely that you're just lazy. So that's the first thing I would say. It doesn't help us get unstuck if we're labeling ourselves or putting ourselves down. I think a lot of times, the reason agents get stuck is because they find themselves in the middle of one of the three primary motivators that I've seen agents experience in their careers. Most agents fall into one of these three categories. They're in a phase of their career where they need to earn a living, meaning I just need to figure out a way to pay my bills. And that's where they live. I just need to figure out a way to feed my family, feed myself, make the rent, make the mortgage, make the car payment, and get things taken care of. The second primary motivator I find with agents are those agents who are looking to design a lifestyle. These are agents that are past that I'm earning a living phase, but they've been doing a lot of it themselves because they've had to. They've been hustling and grinding it out, and now they need to start designing a lifestyle around the business. So I can't just keep going 90 to nothing, doing it all myself. I need to figure out a way to design the business in a way that I slow the rate of gray hairs showing up. I slow the rate of putting on so many pounds so fast. I'm able to get more sleep. And so they start designing a lifestyle, both personally and professionally. They figure out, I've got to start finding ways to leverage myself and get some help. Hire a buyer's, a showing assistant, hire a buyer's agent. So there's that level. And then there are the agents who are in the create a legacy phase. This is very rare air. Very, very few agents reach this phase of the career, but those who do are looking to do things that are going to outlast them. I think of Rick Cunningham as one of the guys that owns this office. One of the guys that owns this office is one of these people, because he's building things that are more than just things that are focused on building his business. He's building all sorts of other businesses and services and offerings that are way beyond where he started initially as an agent. These are also people who are looking to start giving back to the industry, giving back to their community. They are interested in coaching, they're interested in teaching, they're interested in mentorship, and so they're there. What I find with agents when they're stuck is they don't have a good understanding of where and the key motivators they are. They're not certain where they are. But when they can get certain about where in these they are, then they can start maneuvering out of it. A lot of times they're stuck because they're going 1,000,000 miles an hour and they earn a living, and they don't know that there's an opportunity to start designing a lifestyle. They don't know that there's an opportunity to do things differently. So this is the first level of awareness. Where are you in the business? Where are you in your career? Stuckness can feel like a lot of things to different people. And I'd be interested in hearing from you guys how you experience stuckness. But I know for me, stuckness can feel like boredom, overwhelm, anger, resentment. Sometimes I withdraw from it all, and I call that procrastinating, but I'm really just avoiding. Fear of disappointing others. I know people who are in leadership positions get stuck, and they feel a lot of guilt around that because they feel like their stuckness is impacting the people in their lives that they're responsible for. People who are not feeling their success. I talk to a lot of agents who will say to me privately, if you look at all my metrics, Chad, if you look at all of the things that I'm supposed to be doing, I should be really happy. My business is on fire, I'm doing really well. Why don't I feel it? Why don't I feel successful? Why don't I feel the joy of reaping the benefits of everything that I've built? And they get stuck. Sometimes it's just feeling like something is missing or something is unfulfilled. And I don't know if this resonates with you. This is a good opportunity if you feel another way about stuckness to chime in. It's a quote I really like from Dan Gilbert at Harvard. And Gilbert says, human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think that they're finished. The person you are right now is as transient, as fleeting, and as temporary as all the people you've ever been. I think this is a good reminder for all of us that we are living creatures that are meant to be in motion. We are meant to progress, always moving, never arriving. But from time to time in our lives, we want to move on, but we've become attached to where we are. A lot of times, this feeling of being stuck is an addiction to feeling comfortable. Maybe it's, I've retired, I'm financially stable, and I don't need money. I've not discovered what's going to really motivate me to actually go do the things in this career. That's a possibility. But sometimes, what I want to convince you of today is that feeling stuck, especially if you're missing motivation, feeling stuck is evidence of growth and process. It's not, I want to convince you of this today, being stuck is not a negative thing. It's an opportunity if you look at it the right way. And so there are 3 important lessons I want to share with you today on how we move through stuckness. And that is the first one. The only way to get unstuck is to move through the stuckness. And I know that sounds like something you would read on Instagram, but it's really, really true. The only way to get unstuck is to move through the stuckness. Stuckness, the word itself, implies an intention of movement. You're not, when you get home at the end of the day and you park your car in the driveway, you don't go, well, hell, I'm stuck. You just say, I got home. But if you're in the same car on the highway and you're on the way to meet your friends for a party and you get stuck in traffic, you're like, I'm stuck, right? There's a big difference because there's an intention of movement. So if you're feeling stuck, what I always like to remind folks of is that is a reminder that you're still dreaming. It's a reminder that you've not given up on going to the next level in your life or your career. It means that you're going somewhere. You have an intention of moving. You still got ambition, and that's a really good thing. And I also like to share this with folks. So in my book, Breaking Untangled, I write about these 3 different areas of our life: self, strategy, and social. Most of us are out here living this identity, this perceived self, this mask that we build and create for ourselves that got given to us by our parents, by our culture, by our education system. And we develop all these coping and defense mechanisms that create what we put on for the world. But as we mature and we get older and we understand that a lot of the things that we're putting to show other people what we want them to see, it's not really who we really are. And most people, somewhere in their lives, find their way on a path to what I call personal freedom, or being more of their authentic self. This is not unusual, and different traditions call it different things: salvation, enlightenment, all of these other things, right? We're going to call it personal freedom. But as we move through who we show up in the world as, to who we really are, we encounter some bumps along the way. And these different bumps along the way are opportunities for us to slow down and reflect and work on that one issue at a time. So for example, in the self category, we're working to become more authentically, more fully ourselves, but we get stuck in tradition. We get stuck on the way things have always been. Well, my folks did it that way, therefore that's the way I've got to do it. And it's one thing for me to say that so flippantly. It's another thing in your lived experience to start doing things a different way. I was talking to an agent yesterday in Oakland, and she said we were doing a money story exercise, which we'll do here the next time I'm here. And she said, we were doing her money story, and she said, I feel so much resentment writing my money story. I was like, tell me more about that. And she said, well, I'm really trying to do something different with my life than what my parents did with theirs. And my parents and my grandparents thought that donating 10% to their church would magically turn into 110% coming back to them, and they gave all this money to this religious institution that never did anything for them. And she had all this resentment around it, and she was sobbing as she said it. She was caught up in this tradition. It's so hard for us to get over the things that we grew up with. It's not easy. But the first thing we do is we bring awareness to it. We also get caught in procrastination, our circumstances, judgment, shoulds and shouldn'ts. If you're somebody that walks through life, I'm guilty as charged on this one. I should on myself all the time. I should be thinner. I shouldn't have a dad bod. I should sleep more. I should get up and run. I should be further along in my career. I should be a better husband. I should be a better this. I should do this better, blah, 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 blah. I have a lot of shoulds in my life. And when I'm trying to be more of who I really am, I get caught all the time shoulding all over myself. Skepticism, prejudice, creative fantasies, credentials. Some of us don't think that we can be who we really are because we didn't get the right degrees. Stubbornness, that's another one I'm really guilty of. Avoiding the issues, especially around issues of money, I find people really avoid some of those things. Avoid critical conversations, avoid confrontation. Feelings of guilt or right or wrong, overanalyzing, intellectualizing, or getting caught in status. The second layer is matters of strategy. These are tactics, things that we actually do. And a lot of things live in here, like busyness, anxiety, depression, money issues, destructive coping, addiction, being tired, overweight, job and career. These are behavioral. So if you were thinking in therapy terms, like cognitive behavioral therapy would live in this column. There are ways that we show up, things that we actually do that hinder us from getting to where we want to go. Bad habits. And then this level, the social level, are those things that include other people. So I blame them for my problems. I spent most of my life blaming my dad for all of my problems. That kept me from getting where I wanted to go. Playing the victim, being lonely, feeling rejected. This is where projection, transference, unworthiness, or comparing. So any time where we're comparing ourselves to other people, or other people are involved, or how other people see us, it stops us from getting where we actually want to be, feeling more free, and being more of who we fully and authentically are. So these are the three I wrote about in the book. Since I wrote the book and it came out, there are two others that I've found on my journey. One of those is societal, things that society puts on us. It's not, there are certain expectations for someone like me. I'm sure there are certain expectations that society expects of someone like you. For me, that's being a gay man. There are certain things that are expected of me as a gay man. maybe for you, a person of color, as a woman, whatever it might be. Society puts a lot of junk on us that holds us from getting to who we really want to be. And then the fifth one that I talk a little bit about in other places is spirituality. And those are the 5 areas that get us tripped up most often and get us feeling stuck. So if you're feeling stuck, my invitation is to think about, is this a matter of self, my personal history, my personal baggage that's holding me back? Is it my behavior, my activities, my habits? Or is it an issue I have with other people, my relationships? And where in that can I unpack that, untangle that, and then move on to the next thing and get me a little closer to who I really want to be? And then the other idea that I want to offer you is sometimes our stuckness is evidence of our transformation. Is it possible that where you are right now, if you're feeling stuck, is evidence of your transformation? Are you in the process of becoming that more realized, more fully authentic version of you? Is there an internal battle between who you were and who you are becoming? Let me show you what I mean. Everybody see the tree? I need verbal yeses.
Yes.
Pay very, very close attention. See the tree?
Yes.
Is it the same tree?
Yes.
Did it change?
Yes.
Yeah. See the tree? Is it the same tree?
Yep.
Did it change?
Yeah.
Yes. See the tree?
Yes.
Same tree? Did it change?
Yeah.
Do you see the tree?
Yes.
No.
Oh, no.
Maybe, right? Something new just got created. Sometimes our lives are like that. There's a difference that it's really important for us to understand between change in our lives and transformation. Sometimes we get stuck. We're in a phase where we're not just changing, but we are transforming. Something new is emerging. This doesn't happen frequently in our lives, but there are some major milestones in a human's experience that can only be described as transformational, not just change. Transformation, and here's how you think about it. Transformation is absolute. There is no going back. The chair can never be a tree again. It's never going back. Change, it's measurable. There's a benchmark from which I can measure change. Yourself, this is lesson number 2 I have for you. Yourself as it has been. So if you're in that phase of transformation, you are becoming something else. Maybe that's from a career change or just a major life phase change. But you know, there's a new person emerging. Yourself as it has been will fight for its survival. This is why we start experiencing those things that I talked about earlier. The withdrawal, the avoidance, the boredom, the anger, the resentment. When we start feeling those things, it's because there's an internal battle going on. The self as we have been will fight for its survival. The self as it has been, you as you have been, you're comfortable. We crave comfort. We crave stasis. We crave familiar. Your old self, who loves all of those things, is going to fight for its survival. What's also important about this is that yourself as you have been existing is how other people know you as you. This is why major transformations in our lives are so difficult. Everybody in our life knows us as we've always been. They're not on that journey with us. And so when we start showing up saying things like there's a career change or a spiritual development change or a lifestyle change, they're going, who the hell are you? Who the hell do you think you are? They're not on the same journey as you. So here's the cycle. And I'm a big guy believing that if we understand and have awareness around the cycle, it creates opportunity for change. So here's the cycle. Here's what happens. The first thing is we become aware that there's more that we want out of life. There's more that I want to get. There's another layer for me to peel back. There's another level for me to obtain. A lot of times these come up around our birthdays, especially the big ones. They come up around New Year's. Sometimes they come up when there are really intense fights with the spouse. Maybe they come up because they're brought on by things happening in the economy. I can remember the recession of '08. That had a big impact on me. Sometimes it's a hard financial situation we find ourselves in. But we become aware that there's something else. There's another layer for us, another level for us. And we get really excited about it. And we decide that we're going to make the change. We're going to do something about it this time. And then we hit resistance. Resistance is this slide. These are all forms of resistance. And each one of those things represents one bar of the self-constructed prison, bless you, that keeps us where we are. One by one, we build a self-constructed prison that keeps us where we are, unable to move forward. These are our resistances. Most of us stay stuck in this pattern. We get here, we're like, I'm going to change, damn it. And then when it gets hard, then we go, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll just stay up here. But what gets us out of prison is to take transformative action. Transformative action. And as we work together in this long relationship that I have with Keller Williams Advisors, you're going to hear me talk a lot about transformative action. And I think about transformative action as that little voice in your gut, that intuitive voice inside of you that knows exactly what you need to do next. But every fiber of your being is giving you resistance and pushback and telling you don't do that, that's scary, what are they going to think of me, this is going to go so badly, I'm terrified. But that little voice, that thing that you know is what's going to move you forward, that's transformative action. That's the thing. That's the thing that starts taking down one bar of that prison at a time. So ultimately, when you think of it like that, nobody's ever really stuck. We're only deciding to not take transformative action. We're not really stuck. We're just making the decision that we're not going to take transformative action. We could move right along if we were willing to take the risk. You're not stuck. You're just in an uncomfortable stage of life where your old self is gone or is going, but the new self isn't fully born yet. The question is, which are you going to nurture in those tough times? When things get rough, and you know you want to move forward, which are you going to nurture? The new self or the old self? Are you going to take the hard action and do the necessary thing? Or are you going to Netflix and chill? Are you going to pick up your phone and doom scroll? Or are you going to put it off one more day? And when you can start bringing awareness to your stress responses, things get tough, I pick up my phone and my days are now dictated by doing this. Because I'd rather do this or jump in my email because I can solve a quick problem on email and that makes me feel really important and like I've helped somebody and it gives me a rush of dopamine. Am I going to do those things, which keeps me where I am? Or am I going to do the hard thing, which is transformative action? Yourself, as it is becoming, will also fight for its survival. You can think of it as an internal battle. The old self and the new self will fight it out. And the way that the new self wins is by taking transformative action. 3, there is no guarantee that what has always worked will always work. So, I think of it like this. If we take care of the chair the same way that we took care of the tree, what happens to our chair? It gets ruined. You don't water your chair or prune your chair. That's bad for the chair. You cannot take care of the new self the way you took care of the old self. I used to get up at 5:02 every morning. So I owned the in-house marketing firm for Keller Williams in Austin, and we were around the nation. And so we had these in-house marketing firms, and I was a machine. And my routine, I would get up at 5:02. I don't know why it was 5:02. It was 5:02 every morning. I would get up, I'd go to the gym, I'd do my yoga, I would walk the dog, I would meditate, I would do my reading, I would do my shower, breakfast, meet with my team, and then do my flow work, and then client meetings. And it was this was my life. That was a machine. Pandemic hits. Another one of those outside circumstances that forces transformation that nobody saw coming. So, pandemic hits. We were running the Rainbow program around the country. We were running the marketing offices. People got scared. Remember March of 2020 when everybody freaked out and thought it was all over? Well, everybody starts canceling their subscriptions. They start pulling out of contracts. It was terrible. I also wanted out of the business, and this offered me the opportunity to do that. I went on and wrote a personal development book and started doing corporate speaking gigs, and I thought that that was the direction I wanted to go. And what I realized was what had always worked, getting up at 5:02, running that routine, that was my secret to success. That's what works. What has always worked, what worked in that old identity, did not work for the new. I was used to getting up and going and having a team and being around other people. Now I'm doing corporate speaking gigs, talking to a piece of plastic in my living room, doing speaking gigs on Zoom. There's no feedback loop. You need something different. You need to find a way to be around people. I learned this the hard way. What has always worked for you may not always work for you. I talk to a lot of agents who have been in corporate, and then they come over to Keller Williams and they're entrepreneurs, and they're like, I'm gonna run my life as an entrepreneur the way I ran my life in corporate. No, you're not. Totally different animal, totally different lifestyle, totally different beast. They get frustrated because what they've always done, what's always worked for them, no longer works for them. No kidding. You're somebody new. You gotta do different things. There is no guarantee that what has always worked for you is always gonna work for you. Something new requires something different. And the old map, no matter how successful you were as that self that you were, no matter how successful you were, how many friends you made, how many lovers you conquered, how much money you made, no matter what, something new is gonna require something different. The old map that got you there will not get you where you wanna go. That's what makes life fun. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. It's awful. It's a terrible process. But that's what makes the human experience so exciting and changes it up. The old map will not take you to the new destination. Throw it out and get a new map. So what do you do when you're already doing everything you're supposed to do and it seems like nothing is working? You do different things. Do those things that are in your gut where you're going, I don't know if that's me. Try it. What do you have to lose? Well, I don't know if I can do it that way because that's the way that guy does it and he's already doing it that way. Just do it. Try it. Try something new. And one of the hardest things is to grant yourself the grace to do that. Grace is one of my favorite words in the English language. I don't think we practice it enough on ourselves or with other people, but especially on ourselves. Getting unstuck requires that we show ourselves the grace to mess up, to try new things, to experience some vulnerability, to fail. And I know that for some of us and some of our backgrounds and our addiction to perfectionism, the idea of failing is extraordinarily painful. What will my family think of me? You have to show yourself grace to do that. It's all right. That is the way through. That is the human experience. So the question is, what does transformative action look like for you? I think there are 4 areas where transformative action could live for most people. 1, change the focus. Maybe this is a season for you to focus on you for a little bit. That might be new for you. To just focus on you. Reprioritize your health. Reprioritize your well-being. Maybe it's time to just change the focus for this season. And seasons are another important thing when it comes to transformation. Life is seasons. We don't do life sentences. So when I say give yourself the grace to try something different, that doesn't mean that we go out for the rest of our lives and make fools of ourselves. But for this season, just this few weeks maybe, we try different things that we might make us think we look foolish. So change the focus. Maybe changing the focus looks like reprioritizing your business. Or reprioritizing the things in your business. Maybe you've always focused on helping tech engineers. Maybe it's time to focus on another group. Maybe changing the focus means you're not measuring from the right, you're not measuring the right metric anymore. Think about that one. Maybe this season requires you to measure something else. And I know we at Keller Williams hit you hard with the numbers, and I didn't ramp up. I know we do. But maybe in our own development, we need to think, maybe that's not my number for this season. Maybe there's a different number that I need to be paying attention to in your business, in your life. Maybe it's about asking for help. I struggle with this one. Maybe this season is asking you to find the courage to let other people in. To not shoulder all the weight on your own. Maybe it's time to ask for help. We get immune to smelling our own bullshit. We become immune to it. Find people you trust to help you see the parts of yourself you've become blind to. Help them identify for you the ways that you're standing in your own way. Ask for help. Maybe it's time to find a new goal. A goal that's going to bring the joy back to the work. To make the work fun again. I don't think anybody becomes an entrepreneur and wants to give themselves a life sentence of being miserable for the duration. If you are your own boss, I would imagine that you did it because you wanted the freedom. You wanted the flexibility. Why saddle yourself with misery? Find ways to make it fun again. Find a new goal. Work towards something. This is something that also works in relationships. I found with my husband that if we don't have a common goal, if we're not working as a team, working towards something together, we work against one another. I think we do that internally as well. Find something to work toward. My husband and I started a nonprofit in 2010, and we host a summer music camp for violin, viola, cellos in Austin. And every summer we have kids come to the University of Texas. We have about 120 of them, and we bring in faculty from around the world. We give these kids an experience with faculty from conservatories and universities that they would have never had otherwise. And our passion has been to, if they can play, if they've got talent, money will never be an object for you. We will let you in and we will figure it out that for you and your family. And we've been doing that. This will be our 11th year. We're going to be back in June doing it again. Find a new goal. Find something to work toward. Find ways to give back. That also is a secret to getting unstuck. Getting out of your own head, getting out of your own problems, and getting into the service of somebody else. Be the solution to somebody else's problem is a miracle cure. Go deeper. Peel back another layer of your personal and professional development. Go deeper. If you've been doing it one way forever, is there a way to improve on that one way? I've been working with this group of people for X number of years. It really works for me, but I'm bored as hell. Well, is there another way to go deeper into that thing? How can I go deeper into it to develop myself to be better at it? How do I approach the task at hand as the person I am today and not the person I was when I started this thing? Some of us have been doing it for so long that we forget that we have progressed and evolved in the many years that we have done it. How would you, as you are today, do this thing? If you just step back, said, I'm going to start over, stay focused on the same group and the same business, but I'm going to take a fresh lens and think, how would I today, with all the experience that I've gained over the years, how would I do this today? For some of you, it's something simple. It's more tactical. It's time to finally hire somebody, or it's time to finally fire that person. Maybe it's time to finally take on a partner or get rid of the partner. Maybe it's time to quit or go all in. Maybe it's time to surrender to the process or take a stand for something. Maybe it's time to mentor somebody or become a mentee. Maybe it's time to coach or be coached. Maybe it's time to cut back or expand, to focus smaller or expand the vision, to stay or to go. So my question for you today is, how will you decide to make sense of your stuckness if you're feeling stuck? How do you want to make sense of it? Do we want to fall into the trap of feeling like this is it, I'm stuck, there's no hope? Or do we want to start thinking different ways about taking transformative action, moving through the stuckness? How are you going to make sense of your stuckness? Are we in a major life transition? Where are we? And as you move forward, what has always made all the difference for me is to allow yourself the help. I can't emphasize this enough. Find mentors, and on mentors, find yourself a community of mentors. Don't limit yourself to the old, for me it was always some old white guy with gray hair that was going to come along and save me, to keep me from doing stupid things and open doors and opportunities for me. That guy never showed up for me. But what has worked for me and who has showed up for me are authors who have shared generously their work. I read Dead and Alive. People on YouTube that are sharing their stories and their journeys. Finding people who are doing something in this world that you admire and that you want to echo in your own life. Build around you a moat of mentors who you aspire to. Allow them their humanity. Go to specific people for specific things. And I think this is something we mess up with on mentorship a lot. A mentor shouldn't be all things to you. I'm not going to go to Warren Buffett for dancing lessons, right? Warren Buffett is good for financial advice, and that's where I'm going to go. Tiger Woods, great golf, bad at marriage. So I'm going to go to Tiger for the golf stuff. Allow people to be people. Go to people specifically for what you need from them, their unique gifts that you want to emulate in your life, and surround yourself with those people. Enroll people like your friends, your spouse, share your journey with them. If you're not talking about where you're going with the people that matter to you most, you're missing out on half the fun. Enroll the people in your life, into the vision with you. Get the training that you need, get the therapy if you need it, find a coach if that's going to help you. Don't deny yourself the time and space to work on you. I always tell folks, personal and professional development is the most generous thing in the world you can do. Some people struggle with this. They think, oh, I'm working on myself, I'm taking care of myself, I must be selfish. No, 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 no. Why is it the most generous thing you can do? Because the rest of us have to put up with you. And we want you happy. We want you productive. We want you living the life you were meant to live. So go all in. I hope that's been helpful for you. That's all I've got for you. Any comments, questions, concerns, cries of outrage, slides that you want to see again? You're a quiet group.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It was interesting when you said that our old self is fighting kind of the new self because you're comfortable with the old self. But if you're trying to change, why do you want to change if you're comfortable with the old self? Does it make sense?
So why do I want to change if I'm comfortable with the old self? Is that the question?
You said there's a fight because you're holding on to the old self. But is there a reason to, why would I want to change if I'm comfortable with that? Because there's a desire to change. And why is it hard to get rid of the person that you
Yeah.
want to get rid of?
I'll give you a visual demonstration. You ready for this?
Okay.
You see this right here, this little pouch? I hate it. It's humiliating, right? I have an ambition to get rid of this and these love handles. I hate it. And yet, you know those peanut butter pretzels at Trader Joe's? I can eat them by the bags full. I love a sleeve of Oreos. I love the things that my old self has enjoyed, but keep me exactly where I am. Even though I know I want to get rid of it, I have vices. I have resistances. I know that it's a stress response for me. I know that when I get stressed out, I want to, Trader Joe's also has these, those little mini cones that are chocolate dipped on, oh my God.
Good, I don't know.
They're so good. And when I get stressed, that's immediately where I want to go. So there's a battle inside of me all the time about, I really want to lose this, and yet I know that my stress response is to eat the goodies. So there's constantly a battle. There's always a decision that I have to make, right? And that's what I mean by, are you going to literally feed and nurture the old self or feed and nurture the new self? Are you going to make a better decision to reach for a fistful of walnuts instead of a fistful of peanut butter pretzels? And that's the battle that I'm talking about. And for me, it does feel like a battle, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And another question.
Yes.
When you said that you go to the part of the to the fourth step, transformative, to break out of the jail of all the things that you had in the past. How do you not see the past or ignore the past and say, I tried in the past, I failed, and this is another try, and I'm very optimistic, but the little voice in the back, it says, you tried so many times, how can, I mean, you're still trying to be better, but at one point, it could be, like, get very, very hard psychologically.
Yeah. For me, what I have always found helpful is the last step that I talked about, enrolling other people in the journey. If I had to rely on my own willpower and my own grit and my own fortitude, I would love to stand here and tell you that I'm a machine and I'm so resilient, but I don't buy into the idea that anybody is self-made. Everybody has help. And I think the wisest among us and bravest among us are the ones that are able to admit that and ask for it. So for me, to answer your question, for me, when I look at the track record of the love handles, I know that the track record is to go and grab the pretzels. But I know what helps is, and when I have been effective at effectuating change or transformation, it has been enrolling people around me that can help me set up triggers to help me make better decisions in those crucial moments. So for me, it has always been about enrolling help. And I'm gonna blame my husband because he likes the pretzels as much as I do. And he's around the most. And so, maybe I need another accountability partner on the pretzels. So asking specifically for wise help, sage help, would be a good idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
So what are those chocolate things?
So in the freezer section,
No new, at the frozen?
they're little ice cream cones. They're like this big. They're in the frozen section at Trader Joe's, and they're in a box like this big. And it's like a waffle cone, and down in the bottom of the waffle cone, this is pathetic. Down at the bottom of the waffle cone, there's a little bit of chocolate, like inside, and then there's a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top, and then they dip that in chocolate.
How
And
many is the one?
I think there's 6 or 8.
There's
Six.
Now you know, and
It's
you know,
so good.
Let's go to Trader
Finish in like 2 bites.
They're so good.
You say that, or you suggest that when someone is not happy, or stressed, or not in a good place, to reach out to others and to help focus on others.
Mhm.
And coming back home, so you have that experience, it does make you feel good, but coming back home to your own place, it was, I feel like that's like a surface of feeling well, because I wouldn't deal exactly with my problem, and coming home to my problems after all, reaching out to others and feeling better. But I think it's also dealing with any issues that someone might have before, because talking to others is not gonna help me if I don't help myself. Does it make sense?
That sounds really lonely to me.
Okay.
That sounds really lonely.
Hmm.
And it sounds lonely to me because I identify so deeply with that line of thinking.
Just never leave people or only.
My advice would be, don't deny another person the opportunity to surprise you or to support you in ways that you didn't expect. Before you shut down the idea, give other people a shot. Give them a chance. I would imagine in this industry, I think this is an industry of helpers. And why, I think I can probably speak for everybody in here that the industry attracts helping people. You're all here to help other people. Yes, you get paid and you get something out of it, but your heart is our servant hearts. Why is it hard to imagine that someone else wouldn't want to use up their servant heart to help you? Give them a shot. I think you'll be surprised.
I see. So you're saying that reaching out to others might resolve the issues that someone might have. Mhm. And with that mindset, not just like, oh, I'm not feeling okay, I'm gonna reach out, I'm gonna talk to people. It's actually talking about the issues that I have.
Sure.
Okay.
And there's a difference between venting, and I've learned with my friends to set the conversations up better. So I have a friend that I meet with every Monday. There are a few ways that I do this. One, I have a friend date with a friend that I have in Dallas. And we meet every Monday at 2 o'clock on Zoom. And we have learned over the years, she's a coach. And I sometimes it pisses me off when she tries to coach me. And I've learned over the years, there's something that's going on with me, I need to get it out my chest, I'll say, I need to vent, don't coach me. I just need to vent, right? And there's something cathartic about just being able to get it out with somebody that you trust. So I think that's helpful. The other thing that I do is, with my husband, he is also a fixer. And I think men are this way in general. You tell a man a problem, he wants to fix it. That's just how men, a lot of men are. Women are much better listeners and more empathetic. They just are. So we've learned over the years to just say, I just need to vent, I just need to be heard, I don't need you to spring into action or take action, I just need to be heard. So that's another way. And the other thing that I do is on your phone, I don't know, you're able to pin certain people. And I keep my pins of the people that if I've got something going on, these are my go-tos. And that's a constant reminder for me that I'm not alone. And in some ways, I've trained all these people to know how crazy I am, and they know that if I'm reaching out, you want me to listen, are you looking for advice? Like, we've got that sort of relationship. And I found that extremely cathartic and extremely helpful for me. It's not an abdication of my responsibility to address my issues. And I heard that in your question too. I'm not advocating that I'm the one that has to take the action. But I don't have to take it all alone. And I don't have to do it without a cheerleader by my side. There's nothing wrong with asking for support, getting help, and some outside validation to throw a little bit of rocket fuel on whatever it is that you're going through as you move through it. Yeah. What else?
So if you're in a business partnership where the other party doesn't deliver,
Yeah.
At what point do you say, okay, quit?
How many conversations have you had about not delivering?
But if you
What does your gut tell you?
quit,
There you go.
doesn't work, right?
That's right. If you quit,
At
something
what
else I like to
point-
do is
there's one
fear
thing,
set.
I've always found it difficult firing people. I almost never fired anybody. I always give them chance after chance after chance, let them find a way to figure it out. That's just my character. That's probably one of the weakest characters I have. I find it hard to make a relationship.
You're,
So what do you do in the sense where you can't fire them?
it's not a weakness. Being compassionate,
But to the point that it's detrimental to your own growth.
I get that. But don't shoot on yourself in that situation. You're compassionate, you're creating a living for somebody, there is a nobility to that. But you're right, it does get to a place where it's
Yeah.
detrimental to you.
Yeah.
And I would say it's also unfair to them.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard for us as human beings to put ourselves in a role where we have to teach somebody else a lesson. That's really, really hard. I find that really, really hard, to be the adult. It's hard. Sometimes it's a lot easier just to pay the money and avoid the conversations and avoid the difficulty and avoid the conversations.
But if you're too nice, they might misuse it.
They do.
They do.
They take it
And are
for
you doing any favors for them by allowing them to continue abusing you in that way? Probably not. I do this exercise called fear setting, where I think about what's the worst that can happen. So I've got a business partner. I'm really concerned about how things are going, thinking about quitting, or firing, or getting rid of them, or getting out of it. Let's say I do it. What's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen?
Lose self-respect for that person, really.
Okay, and then the next question I ask myself is, if this is the worst thing that can happen, can I handle that, and can I fix that if I need to?
Yes, everything's manageable, right? Just
Yeah.
take a risk. You're taking a risk.
Yeah.
And it puts you back by a few months. That's about it.
Sometimes we have to take a step back, one step back and take 10 forward, right? And that step back, it doesn't mean that one step back doesn't suck. But we never get to take those 10 forward if we don't actually do the hard thing.
Because sometimes if you have a baggage on your shoulders, it's even, you can't think sometimes because you're so dealing with some crap that's not worth spending time on.
Do you have a mentor or coach in your life, or a trusted confidant, peer, someone that you can talk about that kind of stuff with?
Gary Keller, he offered.
Yeah.
He gave me his business card. He called me.
Have you taken him up on
I
it?
haven't.
The best.
His card is sitting on my desk. He said, come to Dallas. We'll talk. I might fly in to see him.
I
He
think that would
offered
be a
this.
good place to
I
start.
met him about 2 months ago. He said, yeah, come by Dallas and we'll talk.
Good place to start.
Maybe. I haven't never taken up something like that.
Why not?
Again, it takes, anything in life takes resource and time. It's not just, you have to be committed to it. I don't like just trying things out. It takes effort and time.
Why do you deny him the opportunity? to
I
talk?
didn't. He said, let's connect. I said, yeah, sure.
But you don't take him up on his offer. You're denying him.
I haven't said no. I've still sending a message said, well, let's meet. Yeah. I think he said Dallas Austin. I don't know. I have his card. He's an Austin, yeah. Because there is potential in everybody's life, But I remember when I was doing, so my background is semiconductors and was dealing with multi-million-dollar contract. And there was this fear I had in my heart that, because I didn't have an MBA, that there's an artificial ceiling that you can't break into. And that's, to some degree, it was there. Like a lot of people in business community, if you don't have an MBA, they have no respect for you. This guy does not finance, he does not listen to them. Legal issues, what the hell is he trying to tell us? So I thought that was an issue at one point, but I know that's not an issue. Because I've got that, I managed to get in 2 years, so I'll get an MBA. That's why everybody wants to have an MBA, they want to have an MBA. So I don't limit myself at what you can achieve. But I find myself like some people just drag me like nonsense things, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Why do you think you do that?
Why I do that? I think, like you said, I let people give them chances.
What do you get out of that? What do you say about yourself?
Like
when
you
it's like,
gave an example earlier about one of your person you talked to, their parents gave a lot of money to a
Yeah.
church. They thought they were very satisfied with that, although she may not be happy with that.
Right.
Right? They spend their life savings on the church. People feel good at where they spend the money, you know? Like I myself, nobody knows in this company, I always donate a good percentage of my income to charities. Every year. I know I don't give the KW. Actually, Harshida, our office manager, said to me, come on, donate here. Try it. She made me sign up. But throughout my life, I always donated. And it's a good thing about your life that, you know, you can earn good money. Somebody's benefiting from this. And I take care of families, 3, 4, 5, 6 families outside the United States. And 100%. And then, you know, with little money, that's not sufficient. I don't send them millions, but if you send them $500, guess what? It's enough for the whole month for them. You and I can go for lunch, $5 plus $500. It's gone. You know, a place like Africa or a place like India, $100 goes a long way, you know.
I want to go back to your.
So life's not just about money, right? You try to give
Right.
others a chance.
But I want to go back to what I'm going to call your addiction to hanging on to people.
Yeah,
Your inability to let people go.
yeah.
What do you say to yourself about yourself when you allow people to linger in your life like that? What do you get out of that?
I just feel they don't know any better, so I just want to help them. Although I
So
feel,
you say,
sometimes I
I'm
feel
doing
resentful
something
about
good.
it. Huh?
I'm being a good person, I'm doing
Well,
something
obviously,
good,
yeah.
I'm being
Yeah.
charitable. What are you saying about yourself?
It's more charitable than anything else. For bigger good than just money.
And being charitable is a big part of your identity.
Yeah. It's always been. Throughout my family also, it's always been like that.
So why do you, if being charitable is the goal,
Why am I feeling resentful?
why, yeah.
Because of it drains you after a while. It's like, come on, let's go the end to this. If you're not putting the socks, so am I having to just do it?
Is there a way to redefine that charity?
Yes, I mean, let's put some boundaries right here. This is the. That's
There's
what
a
I'm
good
thinking.
word,
Yeah,
boundaries.
put a boundary right here.
What does that look like?
I've got to put the effort onto it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have ideas about what that would be?
One, I think with everything in life is put a separation, right? Okay, this is my territory, this is your territory, do what you can and get on with it, and I'll do what I can. But that breaks up the unity, right, of the team. And
Or
something
positions
better.
you differently and demands the respect you deserve.
Yeah. Because sometimes I feel you can go miles on your own than with a baggage on your shoulder. So from my childhood, from like age 13 to 21, I was in the military. And I know what it's like in the military, right? You know, take your team with you, but at the same time, if the team is no good, you got to survive. You're in a war, you know, you're fighting battles, you're fighting. I know these were just games we were playing, but you know, you got to win. You can't let others lose, make you lose. And people are willing to give up the socks. You know, it's hard. I find it hard to. That's my challenge in life. Okay, enough is enough. Let me get on with my life. It's not easy, I would say, to be honest.
Well, none of it's easy, but you're thinking about it.
Yeah, that's why I sat in this class. You know, what are the options?
What do you think about it? It's good.
It's, you know, you can do it when you're 24. You can do it when you're 30. You can do it when you're 40. I'm in my 50s now. Can't just be doing things with people. And I've grown up kids. And just one surprise baby showed up.
Congratulations.
You know, it's like we're not fighting for something. It just happens. So you've got to plan this. You can't just expect others to take care of you or their responsibilities.
In his case of like Gary Catter, I mean, I'm not pointing the finger, but you said the word, why are you denying, and right away you jump back and says, I'm not denying. Could we use the word like postpone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not.
She's
No, that's
right.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah. And some of the postponement is laziness, right? Or
Yeah.
inability to make a decision. You know, sometimes there's other issues blocking on my probably of not making that decision. Maybe you'll throw at me something that I think, oh no, I don't do this. Or maybe sort of be harsh, okay, you gotta cut this loose, man, get on with it.
Mm.
You know, sometimes that's probably the fear factor. You know, probably tell me, hey, cut it here. Enough is enough, get on with it.
What's gonna happen when
Why
Gary
didn't you
Keller
say
says,
that?
cut him off?
Well, like you say, you know, if you trust somebody, like, you know, your coach, if you trust your coach or a mentor, you gotta do what they ask you to do.
Why do you think you need permission from somebody else?
I think that's human nature.
Why do you need that permission?
Because
Why
I'm
can't
not
you
doing that
just-
decision.
Why can't you just make that decision?
I'm not making that, so I'm not making that decision.
Who made decisions for you growing up?
I did. My parents raised me in a way that you're responsible for your decisions, but you have to make a decision.
How has your decision-making skills, how have those been so far?
I've got a lot.
Sounds like you've done pretty well.
I've done in city life and political life and business life, like 4 degrees, like 2 MBAs.
Why are you doubting that guy?
I'm not that. It's just, as I say, it's not easy to cut loose.
No, it's not easy, but can you do it? You survived 100% of your worst days.
It's not easy, sort of thing.
You learn things.
Maybe it's your ego that you like feeling to be needed. So you feel like if you let them go, they're not gonna need you anymore. So by keeping them one way or another, they're still needing from you. And sometimes like we deal with that with our own.
I would have been so happy if they said, I don't need you. Believe me. I'm like,
Make them do the hard thing.
get on with your life.
Make them do the hard work. That's what you're fantasizing, right?
Yeah, I wish they would stood up and say, okay, I'll take care of this. People just don't do that. Like,
Maybe you're the lesson that they need at this time in their life. Will you step into that role? Wouldn't you want somebody to do that for you?
it's, yeah, I thought about what Wendy said. You know, I thought there's an element of me that I want them to rely on me. I'm like, no, heck no. I
Some
want to
part
enjoy
of
my
that's true. Some part of that has to be true.
Yeah. I want to enjoy my life, not just take care of other people.
Subconsciously, you're not doing it consciously. It's just subconsciously, like you said, it's also human nature too. We're human, we all have an ego, one way or another, and we have to feed it. And sometimes it's not consciously that you're making these decisions. It's subconsciously that you're like, okay, I like this feeling that I provide for their family one way or another, I'm helping them in one way or another. So for you, it's hard to let that go because you like feeling like that importance in your life. So for you, it's hard to take that step because you're still feeding it, even if it's a little bit new. But we all have egos. Humans have egos, and it's nature to feed it. Well, we have different sources of it. Everyone has a different source, whether it's feeling needed or it's feeling praised all the time. It's different ways. Or feeling accomplished, like accomplishments.
Yeah.
These are egos sometimes too. And people are like goal oriented sometimes. So there's very different ways. So maybe that's something. I mean, as humans, we struggle with egos a lot too. Like sometimes it gets in our way, and at this point, I think personally, I don't know you that well personally, but maybe that's something you need to work on. Just it will really help you, like you said. It's hard for you to let go of these people that they are ultimately holding you back one way or another. So maybe that's something you can work on.
Some people also fall subconsciously. Some people like to be taken advantage of and like to say, oh, I'm being abused or I'm the victim of this situation. They martyr themselves. It's another idea worth noodling over as you think about what you've got going on. So when I think what Wendy's saying is we always get something out of it, right? There's always a payoff. And even the bad situations, the reason we let it keep going on is because we get something out of it. And the ego, parts of that, there are things we don't usually like to admit to ourselves. But even talking about it today, like you're getting some unsolicited feedback from people who are helping you see parts of yourself that you might be blind to, be uncomfortable with, and now you go off in the world and you'll think about it and be like, oh, maybe I do like being the martyr in this situation, or maybe I do like being taken advantage of because it makes me feel charitable, or maybe I do like being needed. Maybe I like having the power over these people. Lots of things to think about.
Is it that longer we sit in a situation, more harder to get out of it?
Yeah, that's true also.
Maybe some dependency, because of the dependency, you want to keep them.
There's a great book on that called Codependent No More. It's, Melanie Beatty wrote it. If you get a hint that it's codependent, that's a great resource. I know that off the top of my head because my husband and I became very codependent during the pandemic. I'm just like, how do we unwind? This is not healthy.
What is the book?
Codependent No More. Melanie Beatty.
Is it like a blue cover?
Black.
Yeah, it's got a flower on it, I think. Yeah.
Codependent?
Codependent No More. All right, guys, I have to run. Thanks so much for showing up.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry I was late. I
All
just
right.
made it to your last 10 minutes.
You missed the best part.
I know, I have some calls.
So we revealed all the secrets.
Well, so I'm gonna have to share with you. Alex.
What? I didn't learn.
Oh yeah, I have the summary.
I'll share with you.
You want to see the pictures?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, number one,
Pretty, are you to see you?
I got three slides. Stop, feel like, what are the symptoms of stuff? Boredom, overwhelming, anger, resentment, withdrawal, fear,
I just
disappointment,
don't know this.
not feeling you're successful, sometimes missing on unfulfilled. And then, something is other, where you are, where you want to be,
I'm taking screenshots of
Or even if you Google ChatGPT Untangled,
two
you
of
get
them.
a lot.
Two on my list.
change the focus. Find that I mean, yeah. That's what I got this idea, break time. I have never
Break.
five. I really hate five.
I would hate that, that's right. I think
I'm sure you're fine.
If I could fire people, I'd do so much.
How many time blocking you got?
I mean,
I'm talking about my life, not just one of the things.
right. Actually, no, I lie. I'm really good at firing people. I cut people off when I have to.
You just block on the phone.
I cut people off. No, I really do. I've always been really good at that, but then it can be bad too. Because I'm really easy to just be like, I'm done. Or it's like, I need to learn to work onto it, you know?
That's work.
Yeah.
Just send it to you.
Like, I'm just had like all my exes can tell you, like after we broke up, I would just block them, not talk to them, and it would kill them. Because you know, people want closure sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, bye. And, you know. So what you doing?
See you guys.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank
Yeah, that was
you.
great.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
Good to see you.
Oh, I felt like, yeah, I needed that class. Oh, I needed the class today. I was sure my notes. I just gotta organize it. Because I've been feeling stuck, so I'm like, after doing this, I'm like, dang, and that's a lot of stuff that how I was feeling. So that's good. Made me want to read his book now to see how it is.
Oh, he has a book?
Yeah, Breaking Untangled.
I wonder if he's offering custom mentorship.
Probably.
He is, I think. Yeah.